What is the importance we give to the spiritual path? What is our priority in life? When we look at it, very often it's not number one priority. We think our worldly obligations, our obligations to our job, obligations to make a living, obligations to raise our family, obligations to ourselves in terms of our health, in terms of the dress we wear, in terms of the makeup we do, mainly for women I'm talking. This is more important than the spiritual path. Spiritual path can be assigned certain time and a certain priority. And you can say, I didn't get time now, I'll start tomorrow. We procrastinate more on the spiritual path than anything else. Everything else is more important than the spiritual path. How do we expect results if this is the priority we give to something so vital, something so important, that the human life has been created for that purpose? We realize that why are we human beings is we have an opportunity to open the door towards inward journey and find our true home. That's the very purpose of being a human being. And we are spending that life in taking care of things which were merely logistical to maintain the human body, and we think that's more important than the main purpose of being born as a human being. Our priorities are wrong. I've often said our whole life will change if we set our priorities right. Priority number one is my spiritual path. All other priorities follow. I cannot ignore that. It comes first. My day starts with that. My day ends with that. I compress everything else in between. Then it makes sense. Then we are making use of our days and nights. Then we are making use of our life that we've got, our human life. Otherwise, with a low priority given and a high priority given to temporary things, and then we don't realize that this body, which we think is ourself, is so temporary, and we are working mostly for this body. We want to maintain the health of this body. What about the health of our soul? What about the health of our mind? What about the health of our sense perceptions beyond the body? We don't care. We're taking care of the body. This should be healthy. Of course, it's good to have a healthy body, to be able to do meditation, to be able to follow the spiritual path. But then this should not be the only priority. We should take care of what's happening inside. This life is short. The life after this is long. The life after that is immortal. It has never been born, never died. Do we care for that? If we are going to go to our true home at any time, that will be a long, long stay forever, eternity. And here we are more concerned with the short period that we have in this body. Therefore, we have to change our priorities. We have to put that priority higher. People say the Egyptians, the pharaohs particularly, recognized that this world, this life is so short, we should rather prepare for the afterlife. They said it's equally important, if not more important, to prepare for afterlife than to be preparing only for this life. So they did a lot of arrangements. They say that they even collected the worldly things around themselves to carry them to an afterlife. Tutankhamun's grave was opened and they found so much valuable stuff there, so much gold there, and so much nice trinkets which he wanted to carry. And we poo-poo that guy. Oh, he didn't know that he'll die, he can't carry those things. Little realizing that he carried all of them away. We don't realize how the build-up of the astral experiences. We haven't done it, we have never gone there. Do we realize that our actions here are building up what we are going to get in the astral plane? Have we realized that the use of free will here is creating an experience for us in the afterlife, in the astral plane? Have you ever checked it out? That there is no free will of this kind available in the astral plane. The free will we use in the physical plane because of ignorance of the future is the one that establishes our life and our experiences in the astral plane. Nobody's checked it out. If you check it out, you'll see the importance of what you do in this life, even for your afterlife. Even for a higher level of consciousness, you're laying the seeds of it here. We don't prepare for that. We just think we have to make plans for our physical body and a physical life. And we make plans, little realizing those plans may be no use because the end of this life can come anytime. And we don't know when it will come. We have no certain idea at all. People die in the physical body at all ages. They die of sickness, they die of accidents, they die of heart failures, they die of so many kinds of things. They die of shock. The physical body is fragile. In any case dies, no matter how strong it is. And we make plans. People in my age group, I meet them sometimes, making plans what they'll do in 10 years, 20 years later. They're already in the 80s, half the foot is in their grave. And they're making their plans. I'm trying to build a new building there. I will be using it for the rest of my life. And the rest of the life may be one day, maybe a few minutes. So we are giving so much importance and attention in our priority to something that is so temporary. And then, what happens if we overplan and give it undue priority to this life and don't care at all for what happens after that? Then we regret it. Then we regret when death suddenly overtakes. Oh, I wish I had done that. Oh, I wish I hadn't done this. And all the regrets and guilt and all that suddenly sweeps upon us while we are dying. What kind of preparation is that? If you prepare for life, you should also prepare for death. Prepare for a nice death. I came, I meditated, I found out the secret, what I could find in a human body. I achieved what I had to achieve. I am happy, I am going successfully. That should be the kind of death we should have. Not that we are regretting, oh, I made a plan, it didn't work out. Oh, I was attached to that person doesn't go with me. Oh, I built so many properties, I can't live in them, I can't carry them into heaven with me. They are all lying here. It is said that Alexander the Great, a great conqueror, who fought many wars, particularly he raided several temples and places of worship in India. And that's why he's remembered a lot in India as a great conqueror who killed so many people, maimed so many people, made so many women widows, made so many children orphans. He's remembered for that cruelty that he inflicted on people. Why? To gather the gold and the valuables they were stored in those temples. To gather those valuables from this, he bagged them, put them on his horses and camels to take them back to Egypt. On the way, as many of you studying history would know, he died. He could not go back to his own capital. On the way, he found he was sick. His doctors told him, whoever physicians were with him, you have no more time to live. Your end has come. He said, no, I cannot die. A gypsy told me when I was young that I will not die till this earth turns into silver and the sky turns into gold. Unless that happens, I will not die. And that hasn't happened, so I can't die. When he got so sick, they couldn't travel anymore. He had a silver armor, which was laid on the ground for him. And they put it there. And there was a little big golden umbrella made of solid gold. They put that gold on top of him to shield him from the sun. And he saw silver below him and the gold above him. He knew he was going to die. He said, I committed so many crimes. I killed so many people to get this wealth that I'm carrying on my horses and camels, and nothing will now go back with me. Can anybody give me anything? I'll give the whole wealth to anybody who can give me time enough to go back to Alexandria, to my own place, to my capital. And they said, there's no way. Not all the wealth of the world will take you there. And Alexander the Great said, then do one thing. When I die and you bury me, when you put me in the coffin, keep my hand outside. I want to show my empty hand, that even Alexander the Great came empty-handed and left this world empty-handed, could not carry anything. And his wishes were fulfilled when his coffin was made. If you go and study in Egypt, his hand was left outside the coffin to show that he went empty-handed. The point of the story is that we get so attached to things, nothing will go with us. Neither friends, nor family, nor things. And how much we are attached and trying to protect those things here. Where is our priority? They are meant for use while we are in a human body. Nothing goes with anybody. We have seen it. We see other people dying, leaving everything behind. And we think we will not die. We'll carry everything with us. What kind of mistaken notion we live in? With intelligence and everything, we still want to gather more of these things which will never go with us. And we gather so much stuff. When we want to move from one house to another, we find we have bags full of things which we have never even opened. We go and store them in a new place and never even open them. There was a princely Maharaja in India, in Patiala state, and he came to London to buy things, and he bought whole stores and packed them. He died so many years ago, and I remember seeing the boxes are still stored that he bought, never even opened them. What kind of shopping are we interested in? What kind of activities are we indulging in, knowing that this physical body is a very temporary thing? It will not go with us. Shouldn't we spend our time more wisely and allocate a proper time, proper attention to something more vital and more long-lasting, like the spiritual path, for which this body alone is a useful tool? If we become a tree, an insect, a horse, a cat, a dog, we can't do this. If we become an angel, we can't do this. If we become a cloud, we can't do it. The only form in which we can find the way out from here, from this big mess, is the human body, the human form. Why are we not making use of it? It's so important to take advantage of it. Therefore, I say, let's check our priorities of life and put them in right order. Let's put the most important need, while we have a physical body, to go within, find the route that have been told to us, and find our true home, find the entire route to our true home while we are still here in the physical body, and die with great contentment and peace that we came and accomplished what we came for. People keep on saying, what is the purpose of life? Isn't it clear that human life is the only gateway to your own self, to your own truth, to your true home, and therefore that would be the purpose? Where's the question about it? Human life, the purpose is to find your true home, because you can't do it in any other form. And that's why I keep on advising myself and advise everybody, straighten out your priorities.